If you've ever asked, is fasting safe, or how long should I fast, you're in the right place. I'm Dr. Erin. I teach people how to use fasting to improve their health and achieve a healthy weight. Doing so is safe and easy as long as you use some strategy. And strategy is what I'm here to teach you today. So, fact number 1, fasting is not dangerous. It's part of your body's biological design. That means you were born with the ability to fast. When people get into trouble with fasting, it isn't the fasting itself that's the problem. It's because they're misusing fasting because they're either misguided or receiving misinformation. When done right, fasting becomes one of the most powerful and natural healing tools we have. And the best part of fasting is it's free. Every week I get questions like, is it okay to fast if I'm a woman? Is it okay to fast if I'm over 60? What about if I exercise? What if I'm in menopause? What if I just want to lose weight or I'm trying to build muscle? These are all great questions, but they're kind of all variations of the same question, and they're all missing the point. The real question should not be if you should fast, but rather, how long should you fast? And for that, you should understand why you're fasting in the first place, and also what exactly you're hoping to achieve. Answering these two questions will help you determine everything about your fasting strategy. The why behind fasting is simple. In every animal species we have ever studied, the more they are fed, the shorter they live. That's why you see signs all over the zoo that say, don't feed the animals. Because when they're overfed, they get sick and they die younger. But from scientific studies, we know that when their eating is restricted, they can live up to 30% longer. That's not a small number. In human years, that's decades. And I have news for you. Humans are animals too. When we study the people who are living long, healthy lives, we see the same pattern. People who live into their 90s and even past 100 don't graze all day long. They eat less often. They give their bodies time to repair. And they are naturally incorporating fasting each and every day, even if they don't call it that. We've known for hundreds of years that fasting helps the body heal. But in recent decades, thanks to the invention of the electron microscope, we can actually see the healing happen at the level of the cell, even at the level of our DNA. That's what makes this such an exciting time. For the first time in history, we have proof of what ancient wisdom has been telling us for hundreds of years. So many of you do ask me the most important question of all. That is, how long should I fast? And that's exactly what I want to delve deep into today. When you comment and ask questions, I do actually read them, and I try to comment on all of them. So if you're watching me now, take a second to drop a comment, even if it's just to say hello. You can think of me like the doctor in your pocket. I'm here to help you learn, here to help you understand and apply real science to your everyday life. And while you're here, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. And if you love learning from me, please share this video with your friends, because pushing the learning forward is how we can continue to change lives. Now, when people ask me how long should I fast, they usually get one of two answers from me, depending on how much time I have in my day. My quickest answer is any length of time is beneficial, and that's absolutely true. To people who say, I've never been able to go very far, so how long do I really have to go? I always say, start with intermittent fasting. That's the easiest, safest, and most effective place for almost everyone to start. But if you asked me specifically about how long to get to the fat burn or how long to get maximal healing, then I probably answered you something like this. Go to Google and search a chart of the hourly benefits of fasting. You'll find different versions of this everywhere. This is well-studied science at this point. I'm going to show you one of these charts right now, and we'll walk through it together. You'll notice when you look at these different charts that sometimes details are listed a little bit differently. Whether or not fat burning begins at 12 hours or 14 hours, don't get caught in the minutia of that. Because when you're a faster and you get used to how these things feel, you actually know when those things change for you. All right, so let's work with this chart. Notice from 0 to 12 hours after your last meal, not much is happening beyond digestion. Your insulin is still high, and that's what's helping you move the energy from your food into your cells. So this phase is all about digestion and storage. There's no fat burning going on yet. At 12 to 18 hours, things start to get more interesting. Your sugar fuel is starting to run out. This means the glucose in your bloodstream and the glycogen that you store throughout your body. And when sugar runs low, hunger shows up. Your body doesn't like switching into fat burning. It's designed to preserve your fat storage. So this is when you'll feel that hunger coming on. But for those of you trying to lose weight, this is exactly where you want to be. For many, this is the most uncomfortable part of the fast. But to my students, I say, think of it like this. Think of that discomfort as the sizzling of your fat, because that's what it is. It's progress, and you want that to happen. You can get past these difficult hours in one of two ways. Number one, you can distract yourself away from the hunger. Stay away from food or pictures of food. Stay out of the kitchen. Stay away from the smell of food. Basically, you do not want to remind your brain that food is an option. Number two, an even easier way to get through this period is to sleep through it. The easiest way to start fasting is to start incorporating your overnight hours of sleep. You can start by simply skipping the meal at the beginning or the end of your day. By skipping breakfast or skipping dinner and including the amount of time during which you sleep, those fasting hours add up fast. You may wonder why the range here. Why is it 12 to 18 hours? And this is because we're all different. We all have a different metabolism, and that means each of us burns up sugar at a different rate. Now, if you don't keep a lot of sugar around, in other words, you eat a very low sugar diet regularly, you'll get into that fat burn a lot faster. This is precisely why, aside from fasting, I teach sugar detox. Because a low carb or low sugar diet combined with fasting is the 1-2 punch in getting healthy and achieving a healthy weight. But there are other things that affect our metabolism as well. If you're exercising, you'll burn up that sugar faster. If you're under stress, you'll burn up that sugar faster. So if you're in this period of discomfort and you're experiencing hunger, and you need a way to distract your brain, taking a walk is one of the best things that you can do. It creates a distraction and it burns up that sugar faster, allowing you to get to the fat burn quicker. Pretty amazing, right? Okay, let's look at the next phase. Notice in this 18 to 24 hour phase, your insulin is falling, and that's important. When insulin is high, you can't lose fat. So for my diabetics and pre-diabetics out there, this stage is gold. This is the science I teach when I'm helping people reverse their type 2 diabetes. This is where we enter ketosis. Yes, that word we associate with the keto diet that everybody loves to hate. But ketones are simply the natural fuel that your body makes when your fat is burning. They're sort of the smoke signal coming off of your fat, and the surest sign that you're making progress. At the same time, you see glucagon rising. This is how your body regulates its own blood sugar during a fast. So unless you're taking a medication that actually lowers sugar itself, you're safe. If you're taking any medication, especially if you're diabetic and you're not sure how your medication works or if it's safe to use during a fast, drop it in the comments below. I'm happy to help. This 18 to 24 hour phase is what I like to call the feel-good phase. Your body is smart about the energy it stores. When you make it to that fat burning mode, you know it. You notice that you have a lot more energy suddenly. You also have a much better mood and you're thinking more clearly. You notice a little extra motivation, a little more pep in your step, maybe just a natural smile starts to appear. In this period, you're probably more social, a lot more chatty, and a lot more likely to make friends. You're also more capable of solving problems. For all these reasons, I like to time my fast to wake up inside this period. That means my last meal was probably around lunchtime the day before. Doing this sets you up for an incredible day. Actually, it sets you up for an incredible bunch of days because fasting energy lasts. But pay close attention to this, really. Most people are in ketosis by around 18 hours. If you keep a low-carb diet, you are definitely there by 18 hours. Which is why the intermittent fasting schedule of fasting for 18 hours and eating for 6 hours in a day is so effective. That 6-hour eating window works beautifully. Check out the comments in my other fasting videos. You'll find story after story of people who have used this 18-6 regimen to lose a tremendous amount of weight, to incredibly heal their bodies, and find an energy and a life they never knew they had. So if you're trying to lose weight out there, you don't need to start incorporating 3-day fasts. Yes, longer fasts might burn more fat more quickly, but they can also be uncomfortable. You don't want to start teaching your brain that fasting is uncomfortable. We want this to be a pattern that you can sustain. That 18-6 pattern lets you live your life, eat socially, and still make progress. And if you're new to fasting, you need to build up to even that very slowly. It might be a stretch for you to go 14 hours without a meal or 15 hours without a meal. You want to start wherever you can and build slowly from there. Your body and your brain will adjust. And by going slow, you're teaching your brain that fasting is safe, easy, and effective. Now, if you've gone a full day and wake up the next morning still fasting, you're in that next phase. And that beyond 24-hour stage is not as hard as you might think to reach. Once you've mastered skipping one meal, you start to naturally think to yourself, I wonder if I can skip 2. And then before you know it, you're eating one big meal in a day pretty comfortably. This one meal a day style is called OMAD. If you don't know anything about OMAD and you're worried about whether or not you can pack enough nutrition into just one meal a day, I encourage you to watch my video about OMAD. Many people do this every day and love it. Then once you can do one meal a day pretty easily, these 36 to 48-hour fasts are within your reach. And this is where the deeper healing begins. And this is one of the major reasons I run fasting groups. Not because you can't do this on your own, but because doing it together with people who have already done it many times brings you great confidence and comfort. The sense of community makes all the difference. In this part of the fast, your body is shifting towards autophagy. This is your body's natural recycling program. Your body starts getting busy with breaking down old cells. It's cleaning out debris and toxins, much of which were wrapped up in that fat that's melting away. And it's starting to rebuild with fresh, healthy parts. It's during this time that people often report increased mental clarity, a better focus, and even sharper language skills and word recall during a fast. Your brain is literally cleaning house. It's a good time to problem solve and find the answers that have been eluding you. You also see HGH appearing here. This is human growth hormone. We know that human growth hormone is protective of our muscle while we're burning the fat. It's your body's way of preserving its own strength while you're healing. Some people will worry, am I burning muscle during a fast? And the truth is, eventually, yes. During a very prolonged fast, you will get into muscle burn. But there's no evidence that doing extreme fasts of 30 or 40 days help us any more than doing shorter fasts more frequently. You'll also notice that inflammation drops dramatically during this stage. So if you struggle with anything ending in itis, the medical term that means something is on fire with inflammation, like arthritis, tendinitis, colitis, or sinusitis, this is your sweet spot. Another thing you see here is insulin sensitivity improving. Especially for my type 2 diabetics, this is a stage of real reversal for your disease. If you're trying to reach that maximal healing stage, you're looking at that 72-hour mark. This is where stem cell formation is ramping up, autophagy peaks. That's why so many of my fasters aim for that 72-hour mark. They want maximal renewal and repair. If you're looking for those age rewind effects of fasting, this is what you want to start building toward. But remember, you don't have to go that far to heal. The healing begins long before that, and it builds every time you fast. So just to review real quickly, when we're staring at a chart like this, trying to think about our goals and how long we should fast, the key is early on, not much is happening. Midway through, you're getting into your fat burn. And later, after that 24-hour mark, is when you're getting into the deep healing and repair. I hope this helps you plan your next fast or motivates you to start fasting to improve your overall health and wellness. And friends, if your goal is to achieve a healthy weight, start incorporating fasting daily. Don't think of it as optional. Just make this a regular part of your routine. Start by counting your overnight hours, skip one meal, and keep it simple. Then please tell me if this was helpful for you. Leave me a comment below and tell me about your progress. And to all my regular fasters out there, you know I love hearing from you. Tell me about your success stories and please share your tips. I'll keep sharing your best advice forward so that others can learn and be well because of you. Stay started, stay curious, and I'll see you in the next video.